Hello, Jack McDowell here, Black Jack McDowell, and you're watching the Sports Circus, which is totally cool. So you have a great time watching. Have some fun.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Angus and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you taste their best-in-class New York steaks, the filet mignon, and of course the king of all, those gigantic cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. Best I've ever had, probably be the best you ever have as well. Check them out at UppercutChops.com. That's UppercutChops.com. Or give them a call, find out what's for dinner. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Again, 714-948-0100 for UppercutChops.com. All right, a big welcome in to everybody listening in on all of our affiliates, CBS, NBC, Fox, and everybody watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, Charter, WOW, and independent cable affiliates. Thanks for joining us on Hotel TV, where applicable, and everybody on Chicago Food Favorites. Thanks for joining us over there on Facebook as well. All right, we've teamed up with our friends over at Vacation Buddies to offer you a couple of free nights over in Las Vegas or in Branson, Missouri, or in Orlando, Florida, if you can answer a very simple trivia question. And here's the question. What NBA star has won 6 NBA championships? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan? If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777 right now, 888-576-5777, and that is for Vacation Buddies. Give them the answer to the trivia question for a couple of free nights in Las Vegas, Branson, Missouri, or Orlando, Florida. 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Vacation Buddies is not affiliated with the station, but sure wants to give you a couple of nights in Vegas, Branson, Missouri, or Orlando, Florida. Call them right now, 888-576-5777.
Hey, you got me hungry with the steaks now. Hey, I'm Scott Spiezio, 12-year major leaguer, two-time World Series champ with the Angels and the Cardinals in 2002 and 2006. And Sal, thanks for having me on.
All right. Yeah, that's good stuff, buddy. Hey, listen, those steaks make me hungry every time I mention it. And I have to tell you, I have a freezer full of them. It's just stupid. I've never had, even the ground beef, I've never had a burger like this in my life. I'll show you in between break or something what it actually looks like. Crazy stuff. All right, so Scott, you won a couple of World Series, right? Let's get this stuff out of the way right away. All right, but now you won the first World Series. This is always my favorite thing. Whenever I mention the Angels, I always call them the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, of Orange County, the Orange Curtain, of Interstate 5, of the Santa Ana Riverbed, with the rock pile in center field. Because I could never figure out which name they have, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I remember when we won the World Series, in 2002, David Letterman asked me to do the top 10 list. And that's how he announced it. He's like, the California Angels or the Anaheim Angels or whatever the heck their name is nowadays. And that's the thing, I love the Anaheim Angels. I still call them the Anaheim Angels. Too much word, verbiage before it now. But yeah, we won the first ever and only World Series title for the Angels, and I'm hoping that they can turn it around and with Ron Washington there and win some more.
Well, I think Wash is the right guy there. I do.
Yeah, I really like Joe Madden. I wish they would have gave him more time. But it wasn't in the plans. I guess I still don't understand it. But I think Joe was turning around from the minor leagues up, just turning around the culture. And I just don't think he had enough time. But if anybody can do it, Ron Washington would be the next guy I'd pick. I mean, Ron, I was with Ron with Oakland. He taught me how to play second base in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Art Howe brought me into the office, and he goes, "Hey, you ever play second base?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I played it all the time." And I'd only played three games in American Legion ball at the time when I was like 14 or 15 years old. And Ron, just like the movie Moneyball with Hatterberg at first, taught me how to play second. In 2 weeks, I ended up leading the league in fielding percentage. I only had 7 errors in 148 games, and it was all because of him. He taught me everything. He taught me how to play first, which ended up helping me with the Angels, and he's just a great guy. So I'd love to see him do well there.
Yeah, I think he's going to do well. I was really puzzled myself with the Joe Madden setup. I'm like, how do you not let this guy do what he can do? I give the Angels fans crap all the time, and it's because of their fair weather fan kind of crap, right? They only come out pretty much when they're winning, of course, or when Shohei was over there, right? And now let's just see how much they fill the stadium up over there. And my brother lives right there at the corner at State College in Catella, right? Because now they have all those new places right there. So whenever I go there, I stay right there, so I can walk to the games, which is great. But I got to tell you, now the real fans will come out. They're still going to support Mike Trout, who I still believe is a top 3 player in the league. Period.
Yeah.
Right. If this guy could stay healthy, if he could play the full season, I would argue he's probably the best player in baseball. First of all, let me ask you, who is the best player in baseball right now, in your opinion? Come on, man. What do you got?
So seeing Shohei when he's pitching and hitting, I mean, how do you pick anybody else? I mean, nobody can do it. He does, he's one of the best power hitters. He's, average-wise, he's always up there. He's one of the fastest guys. And then now you're talking about a top 10 pitcher, in baseball too, when he's healthy. I got to pick him over the last couple of years. That Trout's one of my favorites. I have a little bias because he's with the Angels, but Harper's a heck of a player. I mean, there's so many good players out there right now. Judge has put up some good numbers. Pitching wise, it's just who's ever healthy. I think it's hard for guys to stay healthy. There's so many Tommy Johns now. It's like not a matter of if it's going to happen. It's a matter of when and how many nowadays. It's just I think they're just too hard on their arms. Too many sliders. Trying to throw 100%. The whole time, and instead of maybe taking a little off and hitting corners.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. Who do you think the best player is?
And this is a very fast answer for a bunch of reasons. It's Ronald Acuna Jr. Period.
Oh yeah. That's a good play.
I'm going to tell you why Ohtani is not the best player in baseball. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Okay. Now this comes from a former pitcher, and I can tell you, number one, he's a very good pitcher. I'm going to give him that. I'm going to give him that. But now, let's take the best player in baseball. What do? They play both sides of the ball. Just like, remember when Michael Jordan was the best offensive player, the best defensive player in basketball. That's the best player in the game. Ohtani doesn't play, let's just say he's pitching. But he pitches once a week. So he's not technically playing out in the field, offense and defense. He's not playing every game like the Acuñas of the world, the Mookie Betts of the world, the Mike Trouts of the world. And you can't be the best guy if you're not out there playing both sides of the ball every game. Ohtani can hit the ball. Everybody knows that. But you know where he has a lot of trouble? Now, if he's a friend of yours, my apologies. But I'm telling you as a former player myself, not with your resume, but I'll tell you, if you bust this guy up and in, he couldn't hit his way out of a wet paper bag because he ties himself up every time up and in. He just can't hit him. And you know what? If he does, and here's an interesting thing, Scott, if this guy ever hits the ball, if it's up and in, it's either off the label or he'll yank it 100 feet foul. You know why? Here's why. Look at here. Right there. Roll your hands over. Watch what happens, right? Watch right? What are we doing here, right? We're swinging the bat. But now do this. This is how Ohtani does it. A lot of people do that, right? But if you rotate those knuckles and you roll your bat over, the bat speed through the strike zone is a lot faster, and you can get around on that inside pitch. He doesn't do that. Oh, no. And then he's foot and bucket. He opens up. This guy can't hit that low and away pitch or even the up and away pitch. He has a real problem with that. So I would say he's a good hitter, but he's not a great hitter. He's a very good pitcher, but he can't stay healthy. Therefore, he can't be the best player in baseball, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Yeah. And the crowd goes wild. Come on, man. You've hit home runs in the World Series and stuff like that. Come on. In our last 30 seconds of a segment or so, I think that at some point, Ronald Acuna Jr., especially with the bigger bases, right, and all these ridiculous rules, I want to talk about those with you. Of course, he's going to probably end up passing Ricky Henderson, arguably the best leadoff hitter in the history of the game. I mean, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
And Ricky was one of the greatest trash talkers that I've ever seen as well. But then again, I think Ronald is that guy. He's a real five-tool player. And you know who else is? Are you ready for it? Second year, Corbin Carroll. Man, this kid is legit.
Yeah. Yes.
He really has. I tell you what, folks, we're going to be back here with two-time World Series champion. That would be Scott Spiezio from the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Orange County, the Orange County of Interstate 5. From the LA Angels and from the St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, the Cardinals always get a big round of applause on this show. That's why I have a Cardinal right here. Folks, back here in just a few minutes with Scott. Don't go anywhere. Lots more to come. I'm your Ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. B-E-E-P-I-N autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
If you'd like to borrow up to $100,000 and get pre-approved in minutes, call the number we'll give you at the end of this commercial. Our lending partners have already loaned millions of dollars to individuals just like you, and we're ready to lend you up to $100,000 if you qualify. Even if your credit is not perfect, you could use the money to pay off high-interest credit cards, for home renovations, or consolidate existing debt. You can get flexible, easy-to-pay terms. The consultation to find out if you qualify is free. To find out if you qualify for our special financing program, call this toll-free number 24 hours a day. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. That's 800-335-1376. Important terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Loan amount, annual percentage rate, and term will vary depending on creditworthiness. Applying does not guarantee approval. Account approval is subject to verification and confirmation of your credit history and acceptance by a lender. If you choose to apply for a loan through us, a consumer report will be obtained to evaluate your creditworthiness in connection with your application for credit.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average and best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UpperCutChops.com or call 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Or make your selection directly at UpperCutChops.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
Thank you, Roy, and welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. This segment brought to you in part by your friends over at the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Check them out at csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. That's the College of Southern Nevada Athletics, csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. Folks, make sure you check them out. Oh, you know, they've been with us since the very beginning. We always want to give them the super applause. And a big welcome back to everybody listening in on all of our affiliates, including our friends over in Atlanta, WDJY 99.1 FM. Thanks for waking up with us. Over in Auburn, Alabama, thanks for joining us on your drive home on 1230 on the AM dial, WAUD, home of the Atlanta Braves. Plus our friends throughout the heartland, all the way out to the West Coast. Everybody driving between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, the LA Basin. Thanks for joining us on Highway Country Radio, 101.5 FM and 107.3 FM up and down the West Coast from Los Angeles up to Seattle, even to Anchorage, Alaska, over to Honolulu. CBS Sports 1500 KHKA. That's home of the Yankees, 49ers, and Alabama Crimson Tide. And a big welcome back to everybody at Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, WOW, Charter, and independent cable television affiliates, as well as everybody on Hotel TV where applicable. Now, folks, by the way, in case you're just tuning in, we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to get their shot at a couple of free nights over in Las Vegas, Branson, Missouri, or Orlando, Florida. The trivia question that you have to answer is, which NBA star has 6 NBA titles, 6 championships? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan? If you know the answer, call right now, 888-576-5777. That's 888-576-5777. Vacation Buddies wants to give you 2 free nights in Las Vegas, Branson, Missouri, or Orlando, Florida. That's 888-576-5777. Call them right now. Vacation Buddies is not affiliated with this station, but they sure want to give you a couple of free nights in Las Vegas, Branson, Missouri, or Orlando, Florida. 888-576-5777. Call them right now, folks. Here we're 2-time World Series champion, and that would be Scott Spiezio. And you know, Scott, in the last segment, we were talking a little bit about the best players in baseball. Do you know what they also do, by the way? I'm sticking with Ronald Acuna Jr. It is what it is. And I do like Mike Trout if he could stay healthy. But I want to talk about that uppercut swing that you mentioned in between segments. It drives me effing crazy. I lose my mind watching these hitters. Talk to everybody about that uppercut swing, what it does, what it doesn't do. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, we were talking about Ohtani having problems with the ball up, and I said there's a lot of people that have problems with the ball up, especially with guys throwing harder. But I think since about 2010, maybe 2012, with sabermetrics becoming more part of the game, you had these guys from MIT come in and basically say, hey, we need more launch angle. We need more home runs, and a shift happened. It went from no teams hitting below 240 to, nowadays half the teams in major leagues hit below 240 as a team. And as a guy that have played with some greats, Albert Pujols and McGuire and guys like that and others, A-Rod and Ken Griffey Jr. and guys like that. The most guys that think more level towards the ball or direct to the ball, those guys hit for high averages and hit for power. It's a round ball and a round bat. You don't have to swing up to hit it out. If you hit just below center, you're gonna put backspin on it and you're gonna have that ball carry. And you're not gonna strike out 220 times a year. I know a lot of people say, well, guys are throwing harder now. We had a lot of guys that were throwing hard. I could care less how hard they threw. If they could change speeds and hit spots, that was much harder. A guy like Maddox was much harder for me to hit than a guy throwing 103 and the ball just being right there. It's a big debate. There's some crazy guys on social media that, talk about this HLP swing and And it drives me crazy because they're trying to teach, a guy like Aaron Judge might use it, at times do well, but they're teaching it to kids that are so small, they're not 6'7", 280 pounds. And there's a lot of stuff about the game that drives me crazy now. But it's still my favorite game and I still love watching it. I still teach direct to the ball, try to hit line drives. If you just miss it, it's going to carry out to be a home run. I never really considered myself a home run hitter. I ended up hitting 123 with, I had 119 in the regular season and 3 in the playoffs. And I still have the record at University of Illinois with 48 in 3 years. But all I did was try to hit line drives. And if I just missed them, then they'd carry out, But I never struck out more than, I think, 74 times in a year. And that was my rookie year. Being with the A's, when they first started the whole Moneyball era, we were into this thing of take pitches. So my first year, I was always behind the count, 0-1. They always wanted you to walk more than you struck out. And for a lot of years, I did that. I know in Anaheim, I did that in 2002. I think I had 70-something walks and only 50 strikeouts. Boy, 150-something games. Can't wait to hear yours.
Listen, the uppercut thing, and I will tell you, this is advantage pitcher, which I like the idea. I like to, notice, of course, for everybody watching, notice the White Sox baseball. Notice the White Sox thing here. We got all kinds of neat stuff here. Even the White Sox Rubik's Cube is over here. Earlier, we talked a little bit about the hand position, right? Act like do the swing like you're doing an uppercut, right? So I've got a microphone in front of me here. All right, so let's step back a little bit. All right, so you're swinging upward, right? All right,
yeah.
And so you got a problem with swinging upward. And I'll tell you what the problem is, not you, but the people that are out there thinking they need to be doing this uppercut swing. I love it as a pitcher. You know why? Let's do something real simple. Let's take a flat plane. Here's the flat plane being home plate. And now a level swing, what happens? The bat stays in the strike zone over the plate. An uppercut swing, it cuts the strike zone. So the bat is not in the impact area long enough to, like they always say, they always taught, like Walter Riniak, swing down, swing, a nice level swing, right? But this is how we were taught. If your bat is in the strike zone longer, chances are you're going to make contact. It's real simple. Right. Yep. And this is what a lot of people are missing with this. I love, as a pitcher, I'm like, great, you go ahead and you get that big launch angle in there, and I'm going to watch you strike out 500 times or whatever the hell it is. But at the end of the day, you're not going to hit the ball. You're not going to put the ball in play that much. You've got to hit at the right sweet spot. If you don't hit it at the perfect spot, that ball's not going over the fence. You could hit it 95 miles in the air. And it looked like Jack had a little bit of an uppercut swing. And my point is, when that bat is going at that angle, there's a lot less time to hit a line drive. You just got to hit it perfectly. So, Scott, to your point on this uppercut swing thing, it drives me bananas.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, you nailed it. I teach kids now in my hometown here and do speaking and stuff like that. But when I talk about the uppercut swing, that's exactly it. Your timing has to be perfect in order to hit it, and the chances of that is very slim. So obviously you're going to strike out more, and the average is going to go low. Right. Be a lot lower. And for me, I like guys. If you look at the teams that I played with that won, I mean, the Angels, we had a lot of guys that hit, 280 and up. Yeah. On base percentages, 350 and up. And still hit the home runs. I mean, in 2000, I think we had 4 guys with over 34 home runs, and I think the most we had, I think Mo Vaughn struck out like 150 times. But we had Gloss with 47, you had Vaughn with 36, Garrett Anderson with 35, Tim Salmon with 34, Erstad hit 25 as the leadoff guy. Right. All those guys had 97 RBIs or more. Nowadays, that's I had 17 home runs and 290 at bats and 50 RBIs. We basically, and you got guys like Eckstein, Adam Kennedy, Benjamin Molina. We got on base and we hit. We'd hit behind runners, whatever we had to do, right? To make sure we were scoring runs, even against good pitching. We're not out there striking out.
Well, and you know what? Here in our last 30 seconds, that was I mean, from an offensive standpoint, this was a team that did a lot of things right. They moved the runners over. You had guys that could hit for power, guys that could hit for average. The ball was being moved around. It was sacrificed. You had speed on that team. Yeah. It was the perfect storm in Anaheim. And I moved out to Southern California in 1986. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of baseball games in that stadium, buddy. And I got to tell you, that was a very good squad to watch. Tell you what, folks, we're going to hear a little bit more about that in just a few minutes when we come back with two-time World Series champion. That would be Scott Spiezio. You know, they used to say world champion. We're going to say two-time world champion just because we can. Back here in a few minutes on the Sports Circus. Don't go anywhere.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. 800-298-3173. That's 800-298-3173.
I'm your Ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hello, Americans. It's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time, that's 800-950-2049.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Hey everyone, Dave Jackson here, ESPN rules analyst on ESPN Hockey, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. This is Scott Spiezio, two-time World Series champ. If you need to reach me at Spiezio Baseball on Facebook or SpiezioBaseball21@gmail.com for any speaking engagements or anything like that.
All right, that's good stuff. And we love this impromptu bring it back just because we can here on the Sports Circus. I mean, that's the fun part about doing what we're doing here, because you never know what the hell's going to happen, right? And it's kind of like going to a baseball game. Scott, you never know if your team's down 5-0, as you were saying on the break, that a team would come back. Tell everybody that story real quick.
Oh, yeah, game 6 of the 2002 World Series is probably my most famous at bat. We were down 5-0, in the bottom of the 7th with one out. Troy Gloss gets a hit. Brad Fulmer gets a hit. This is kind of a crazy story. Dusty Baker goes out to take out Russ Ortiz, gets the game ball from him, and then he tells him to come back, gives the game ball back to him. And right then I thought, oh, these guys think it's over, and I ended up hitting on the 8th pitch out of 3-2 count, I ended up hitting a 3-run homer, and it turned the whole tide around. The rest was history. We ended up winning that game 6-5, and then won the next day 4-1. So you never know. You never know.
Man, you never know what's going to happen. And I love the fact that, let's face it, folks, the Southern California fans, generally speaking, they seem to show up late and leave early. Now, I don't know about you. I mean, Scott, look, we're from greater Chicagoland, right? Yeah. When we go to a game, we commit to a game, what do? We go to the game. We're there before the first pitch, and typically we're there all the way to the brutal end, right or wrong?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Chicago or St. Louis, people are showing up hours before the game and hanging around, and then hours after the game, they're hanging around the area as well. It's a little bit different in Southern California. I don't know. Maybe it's the traffic. Maybe I don't know. But I remember we'd always say, boy, it's wonder how many we're going to get. It'd be the 3rd inning, and then around the 5th inning, it would kind of be full. And then about the 7th, people start leaving. I had a lot of people tell me, about that game 6 home run, that they were either in the parking lot or on their way home when I hit that home run. And I'm like, wait a second, you paid money to come to that game and you left early. And that's just, it's a different way of thinking out there.
The mentality is unbelievable, and they deserve an astounding round of boos because the mentality is so off. And I can tell you, when I go to games, even here in Las Vegas, I'll go watch the A's AAA team, right, which is the Aviators, right? I'll watch the game, and it doesn't matter what the score is. Here we're in the 7th inning or the 6th inning, and people are running back to their cars. Like, first of all, we don't have Southern California traffic here like they do in Orange County or in L.A. yet. But half of Southern California lives here right now. That's another discussion. But anyway, I'm always, when I see them walking back and the game's going on, I'm like, hurry up, you'll be the first one to your car, if you know what I mean, right? Right, you'll be the first one out of the parking lot. I don't understand that mentality. And they want to they want to speed the game up, right? And what do we like as kids? We like bonus baseball. We love the extra innings. What do you think about this BS extra inning man on second crap?
I don't see. There's a lot of the new rules I don't like at all. I don't like the bigger bases. I don't like the pitch clock. I guess it worked for him, but to me, like I went to a couple Cardinals games, and I had to do like an interview and then go say hi to a few people. By the time I got back with my family, it was like the 7th inning already, and the games go so quick now. I like getting there, early, seeing batting practice if possible, and then hanging out till the very last out. They got to shoo me out of there usually.
Yeah, and you know what? The idea that fans leaving games early, to me, it's just wrong. Why are you even there if you're worried about getting home? When you're at the game, right. Be at the game. Don't be taking a million selfies and crap like that. It's because of those people that we have netting around the whole damn stadium, seemingly.
Right.
And Scott, I got one for you. This is the 2009, I think it was 2009 World Baseball Classic. It was 9, right? I think that was the first one. So I'm at Dodger Stadium. And I'm at the game. I'm even with the right fielder. I'm just a couple of rows off the foul wall, right, into the seats. And I'm sitting. It was USA against Japan in that game. And who's up? Adam Dunn is up, right? Frozen rope Adam Dunn, if he wasn't striking out, if you know what I mean. It is what it is, right? But anyway, so Adam Dunn is up, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm literally turning, right, instead of facing the right fielder, I'm turning this way thinking, I better be ready. And I'm thinking, God help me if he hits it to me because it's going to break my hands. But anyway, now it's self-preservation. So I kid you not. Here goes Adam Dunn. He hits a ball probably 15 feet off the ground, and it is screaming. It's coming. And I'm turning. I'm like, okay, it's going to hurt, but I'm going to catch this damn ball. And so I go, and literally it's 10 feet from me. I'm like, and then it hits the Japanese chick next to me right square in the side of the head.
Oh, my God.
I couldn't believe it. And here's the crazy part. What was she doing? First of all, she was busy doing this on her telephone, right?
Yeah.
But trip on this. You're not going to believe this. After she got hit, she went right back to her phone. I've never seen anything like it. This chick just got hit with 110 whatever off of that bat 300 feet away. And it was as if it didn't even faze her. I couldn't believe it.
Maybe she's got a titanium plate in her head or something.
I don't know. But it's because of people screwing around on their telephones, taking selfies. Look at me checking in here and all this other crap. It wrecks it for everybody. Now we got to watch the game like a bunch of kids in kindergarten that's behind some ridiculous safety net. Yeah, and then it takes away from, I understand, the liability and stuff because people don't pay attention. I mean, I hit the same lady twice in one game in St. Louis when I was with the Angels. Hit her in the chest and then later hit her in the head. In the same game. It's crazy. But I'm sorry, it's kind of humorous, but it's ridiculous. Go ahead.
Yeah. But, it takes away, like, kids, it's hard to sign autographs, down the lines and stuff like that. And, I liked it. I liked being a part of the game. It keeps you involved in it instead of on the phone. I don't understand it. People at concerts, they're watching their phone video and everything, and they don't experience the game or the concert or whatever it is, whatever the event is. I understand, like, okay, take a couple pictures and maybe a video, but then put the phone away. You don't have to sit there and record the whole thing. There's a squirrel out here. My dogs are eyeing it.
Oh, that's okay. Let him. Go get him, kid.
Come here, Clips.
Go get him.
Come here, Clips.
Attack. do what you got to do. But, I think about the way those balls are hit. And I got something for you here. So this is, everybody's seeing on TV and on radio, whatever. This is a ball that Walter White's hit at Old Comiskey Park. And it was in April of, I think it was 1989. And so it was cold. And the April games at Old Comiskey, it's a little chilly out there, right? It's a little nippy out there, if you know what I mean. And so in our last 2 minutes, this is fun stuff. In our last 2 minutes of the segment, and I'm thinking, okay, Walter, I'm right next to the foul pole in right field. Because I'm like, I know where these guys hit home runs. This is perfect. So I'm in the front row, and I've got a friend with me. And here it comes. Walter hits the ball, and I'm like, I got it. It's coming right at me. And it's, again, 10 feet in front of me. And what did I do at the last second? I went like this. I ducked.
Oh, no.
I did that on purpose because there was this kid behind me, he had his face in a giant piece of pizza. He couldn't care less about anything. And I kid you not, this is a true story. This ball went right over my shoulder, bounced off his belly onto the floor. It rolled in front of me, and I picked it up, and I got it. That's how I got this ball. And I'll never forget that story. It's just one of those things, you don't forget. Because, when someone's got their face in food, especially pizza in Chicago, for all you people on Chicago food favorites on Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. Great pizza. You're not worried about a baseball. Oh, hell no. You're worried about that piece of pizza. But, there's a difference in this ball, and I can feel the difference versus this ball. Now, what's this one, Scott?
Yeah. 2005 World Series, yeah.
There's a difference between these balls, and you could feel it. I mean, it is what it is. And you could feel this one is wound a little bit tighter, not because this one's used. I mean, I can find an older ball, but there is a definite difference in these. And honestly, there is a slight difference in the size of these two. I don't know if you could see it, but these are legit. Yeah. I mean, you see what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This one is a little bit bigger. The newer ball is a little bit bigger. So, and I can assure you, these balls are flying out of the yard for a very, very good reason, in my opinion. Oh, he's a conspiracy guy. No, he's not. I'm holding up two baseballs from two different times that are 20-odd years apart. Tell you what, folks, when we come back, we're going to dive into this baseball questioning and the rules and all this other crap. Don't go anywhere. Last more to come here with two-time World Series champion. That would be Scott Spiezio from the Angels and from the Cardinals. Back in a few.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UpperCutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UpperCutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UpperCutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door, without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at UpperCutChops.com or call 702-799-9935. That's 702-799-9935. 702-799-9935. Or make your selection directly at UpperCutChops.com.
Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. That's 800-932-5517.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-476-6087. 800-476-6087. 800-476-6087. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. beepinautos.com. BEEPIN Autos.com. BeepinAutos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at BeepinAutos.com.
Hey everybody, this is Brian Urlacher. Welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP.TV. Folks, make sure you check out thesportscircus.com for our upcoming guests, our prior guests, recorded shows, and all of our partners as well. Lots of great guests coming up. In fact, the great Brian Urlacher is coming up here real soon. Of course, big round of applause for Brian. And even Wayne Newton, yes. I mean, look, it's sports, it's entertainment, television, radio, film, whatever, science, business. This show started off as just a radio show at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning here in Vegas, and it's blown up. We've done thousands of episodes, lots of fun stuff. Great guests, just like our guest today, Scott Spiezio, won a couple of World Series, one with the Angels, one with the Cardinals. And, of course, we applaud the one more with the Cardinals because I'm the anti-Cub for all you people out there. And, you know, Scott, we did a segment one time, and I'm going to ask you, we did a segment a long time ago, and oh, geez, I think this was a good 5-6 years ago. And it was the sports genie, right? So you got to ask the sports genie one wish. If you had one wish in sports, just one, what would your wish be from the sports genie?
That I could still play right now. That would be my wish, that I could go back and play right now. Plus, the money's a lot better, too.
No, the money's ridiculous. I mean, come on, we got paid $1,200 a month. Don't even talk to me about that.
Right. Yeah. Well, it was about $850 my first spring, minor league team. About $850 a month.
Yeah, people don't know this stuff. I mean, it was tough sledding, buddy. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so the sports genie, you say you would like to play still, right?
Yeah.
So
that would be fantastic.
Okay, well, somebody once asked me what I wanted from the sports genie, and this is how hardcore White Sox guy I am, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, the Cubs lost me after all their trades and this and that, getting rid of everybody. The final straw for me was Bruce Sutter going to the Cardinals, right? And that's it, right? And for me, it was like, all right, that's it. If you're going to deal Bruce Sutter off to the Cardinals, that's when I bought my first Cardinals hat. That was the end of it for me. And so when they asked me about the sports genie question, and I had said, okay, if I had one wish from the sports genie, it wouldn't be for me to be able to play No, it would be that magic number of 162. We all know what that number is. Anybody that knows anything about baseball. Well, for me, it was to see the Chicago Cubs go on an 0-for-162 streak. That's exactly what I wanted. You know why? Because nobody would ever forget a team that lost 162 in the row. I mean, sometimes they forget who won the World Series last year or the year before or whatever, but you'd never, ever forget who won on an 0-162 streak. It is what it is.
That's pretty funny.
That's my dream from the sports genie. But anyway, so I told you, that's great stuff. So I told you at break, we had this ball issue here, right? We had two baseballs up here, right? And here's a 2005 World Series baseball, and then here's a 1989 Walter Weiss home run, Oakland A's against I forget who was pitching for the White Sox. Anyway, it was caught at Old Comiskey Park. All right. Now, these baseballs feel different. They weigh different. And look at the size, everybody, as I'm fumbling my microphone around. You can see on television. Look at the size of these baseballs. Now, these are side by side. I'm not trying any trick camera, anything. Scott, do they look even to you? Yes or no?
They don't. No, they don't. I think balls have they've changed over the years for sure. And like we were talking about in the break, it seems like there's years where boom, home runs just spike. Maybe they're like you said, they're using the All-Star game home run derby balls that year. People had said, I heard stuff about, maybe when with the Yankees guy, I can't think of his name now, Judge, when he had that, like the second half of the season, they were using special balls, and there's been some other stuff said, but for me, I just wish that I know Major League Baseball also too, and I think they raised the seams a little bit one year because pitchers were complaining that seams were too low, and which caused less friction with the air, and the balls were jumping out, and so I think baseballs have been down since then, or home runs have been down since then. But I wish they just had like a third-party, independent, team that just regulated the baseball so they were the same for everybody all the time.
Well,
because
buddy, we're not going to see that anymore because Major League Baseball owns Rawlings, and Rob Manfred keeps screwing with the baseball. Check this out. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you one other thing. Okay, remember that 2005 World Series baseball right here, okay? And here's the ball it's one of the rarest baseballs that you could find today.
Oh, wow.
And that was the game that was never played. Remember the strike year?
Yeah.
The White Sox were rolling. And guess what?
Yeah.
Right? Strike year, that's it. All right. So now here's two different baseballs again. And I want you to look at these. These are two World Series baseballs. I'm holding them side by side. Is there a size difference? Is this not an optical illusion? I'm not screwing with the baseballs. It sure seems to me that the 2005 ball is maybe just a touch bigger than the 94 World Series baseball.
Yeah, and you can see the seams are different too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and for everybody watching, here, let me see if I can line these up. Everybody watching. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at the 94 seams. They're bigger. Look at how compact the 2005 seams are.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
And that's the thing. Everybody watching or listening on our radio, you'll have to go back and watch the video on this. But at the end of the day, Scott, the game has been tinkered with so much. And it just drives me crazy because I'm seeing bigger bases. The pitch clock drives me insane. And now you got guys, the pitcher can only do what? Make his move twice to first or another base, and the third time you got to pick them up. Otherwise, they get an automatic advancement.
Yeah, I can't. I hate the moves. We're going to end up looking like the Savannah Bananas soon here, I think. And, having also, foul balls will be, if the fans catch them, they'll be out. But, yeah, it drives me nuts. You were talking about Ricky Henderson earlier. Guys like him, Vince Coleman. I mean, if they had these rules, they might steal 200 bases a year.
Right.
Bigger bases. Less ground to cover. You could. I mean, I think there was one with Vince Coleman. I saw a video where they picked over like 14 times or something like that in one at bat.
Yeah.
If he knows you can only pick over twice, he's going to have a pretty dang good jump over there.
He's gone.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, it's a different game. I definitely don't like the pitch clock. We never had issues with that. I mean, I remember playing games, with guys like Chris Carpenter on the mound, or we had a game where it was Burley versus Ryan Franklin early in the season when I was with Seattle, April in Chicago. That game was done like in an hour and a half, it seemed like. And guys just got on the mound and went, so it's, a lot of things have changed. I wish they quit tinkering with the game. It's a great game, and it's been the same for a long time. But hopefully that's the end of it, but I doubt it.
All right, quick questions. So we're going to take about a minute and do some quick questions. Just because we can, let's mix it up a little bit, right?
Sure.
Favorite park?
Oh, boy. I did like Anaheim when I was there. I still like it. The playing surface is phenomenal. That's probably the biggest reason I like it. St. Louis is amazing. I always liked Pittsburgh, and I liked Baltimore. Old Yankee Stadium, when I walked in there, it just gave me chills, and that was one of my favorite places to play, is Old Yankee Stadium. But those are probably my biggest ones.
Best clubhouse?
Boy. I'll tell you what wasn't the best clubhouse was the Chicago
Wrigley
Cubs
Field?
on the road.
I knew you were going to go Wrigley Field.
That was horrible, and the playing surface was horrible when I was there too.
Yep.
I know they've changed some stuff up there, but man, that was one of the worst. Old Detroit Stadium, Tiger Stadium was horrible. Old Fulton County Stadium in Milwaukee was bad. Boston Fenway was bad. But my favorite probably St. Louis. The home one. That was probably my favorite.
Best broadcaster for baseball?
Oh, geez. That's a tough one.
Come on, man. What do you got?
I mean, oh man, Harry Carey was with St. Louis when my dad was there, and then he went to the Sox. I liked him there. But shoot, what am I doing here?
I got one more question for you.
I got something coming on my phone. I'm trying to get it off here.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Broadcasters, I like Jack Buck. He was great. Tim McCarver, I liked him too. My dad played with him, and then he called my home run, so that was pretty neat.
Right. Best stadium food?
I never really ate that much stadium
Come
food.
on, you got to give me something. We're running out of time.
I don't. That's a tough one. I don't know. Seattle had some pretty good food.
Yeah.
There. I like Seattle's food.
As do I. Okay, listen, we got to take 30 seconds. Tell everybody how to follow you, how to go to your camp, how to get your speaking engagements, etc. Go ahead.
Follow me. Spiezio Baseball is on Facebook. I have a Twitter account. I'm not on there a ton. I think it's like Scott_Spiezio. And then I've got an Instagram account, a personal Facebook account. My email is Spiezio baseball, the number 21@gmail.com. I've been doing a lot of speaking. I had issues with drugs and alcohol late in my career, and so I talked to schools about that. I talked to charities. I talk about me and my dad's career and stuff like that. And so I've been doing a lot of that lately. And then I do lessons and camps and stuff around my hometown of Morris, Illinois, which is 60 miles southwest of Chicago.
All right, that's good stuff. Hey, listen, Scott, it's been a pleasure. And listen, you're always welcome back here on the Sports Circus. We'd like to have you back. Who knows, maybe we'll have you do some correspondent work for us. I don't know. Whatever, we'll figure something out. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. I'm your Ringmaster Sal for Scott Spiezio, two-time World Series champion from the Angels and Cardinals. We'll see you in about, 23 hours right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
If I was your mother and you had a drug problem, I'd grab you by the ear and make you call and get help. You can be in treatment tomorrow and start to get clean in 7 days. Follow Mom's advice and call the Detox and Treatment Helpline now. Write this number down.
800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. That's 800-814-8628.